Having a little bit of trouble with the tractor here. One of the options on these 8 Series tractors is this independent suspension. Why is it electronic?
You got to keep it lined up so that it will keep equal amount of pressure on all the tires.
So it's pretty high tech.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way of saying it. So Chris from WM Noby, the local John Deere dealer, is here. He's replacing a sensor right under there for us. Just called him this morning and talked to him a few minutes, and before you know it, he's here.
Pretty good service. Actually excellent.
Nobody's just bought the dealership recently, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Maybe this spring or last fall.
Spring, I think it was. Yep.
So far, it's been a nice transition.
Very smooth transition.
The previous owner, their family retired, and it'd been one family for years and years and years, and I think they just felt like it was time to move on to something else.
We got a dedicated family now, and very happy.
So if you live anywhere near a WM Noby John Deere dealer, check them out.
Tractor time with Tim. Tim's driving the combine right now, selling corn.
There you go.
There you go. Looky here.
I'm gonna have to get me a new name because combine time with Tim just doesn't sound right.
No, not at all.
They wouldn't let me start till dark.
That's exactly right. That's the way we always break in our new operators. Well, now we are filling up the hopper here in the back, and that's a good thing. That's what it's all about, is finding the yellow gold.
Yeah, I said something this morning about when we heard that bin full sensor go off. It was sort of like the Price is Right tune, you know?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I just won the Showcase Showdown.
Bingo.
And Dad said this morning as he was driving, he says, if a farmer can't enjoy harvest, he might as well quit.
That's exactly right.
Not a lot more things enjoyable than watching a good crop roll in.
Especially the way that a lot of our corn this time has turned out very well for us, and we are very pleased and very thankful to Lord above for providing. We really are just managers, and we give God the credit. All we can do is plant the seed, and it's out of our hands after that.
You know, I think that is kind of an interesting point, Tom, because I think farming is an occupation where you really do learn that you have to trust God, because you really don't have a lot of control, do you?
We do the best we can, use the best practices that we know that we think will work, and products as far as inputs, seed and chemicals and fertilizer, but we can't make the seed grow in spite of everything we think.
Can't make it rain?
We can't make it rain.
You can't keep it from raining.
We can't, yeah, that's for sure.
So you can't keep the grasshoppers out, or this year you had slugs.
Never have heard them being an issue whatsoever to planting a crop. It's always something, but at the same time, we have to trust the one above to provide the growth. Keeps us very humble.
Yeah, I mean, it's so expensive to put out a crop. The margins are relatively thin. The cost of a crop failure is huge. That's really hard for me to fathom, not working a job like this all the time, or at least not having my checkbook tied to one. This thing's got more gadgets and buttons and monitors, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's one there that it's a camera, but I can't see anything.
I think it kind of got clouded with dust.
7 different screens I got here, and then the radio. I think I could probably make the radio
Sometimes
work.
the music radio kind of loses a little bit of priority as much as it used to.
Well, there's all these other noises that indicate something's going on, maybe bad, maybe good. It's just hard to keep track of it all. And
what a wonderful sight. This is enjoyable.
Some of this in here, the last round, I barely made it to the end. It was in the 250 range in here from here on out to the end.
Wow.
These throughs are a half-mile long. So we drive a half-mile before we turn around. This corn's good enough that as soon as we get that half-mile, we've already got a hopper full.
We are tickled pink when that happens. That's for sure, because that doesn't happen very often with our kind of land that we farm.
So you about half done with corn, Tom?
I think we're pushing over half. I think we're up toward 60%.
I think I heard you say that you're going to stop doing corn and switch over to soybeans.
I think we'll do soybeans Monday morning. They are going to be dry as well. very dry humidity is really drying things out.
And why would you switch to soybeans now?
We don't like to leave soybeans out. If they're ready to cut, we like to get them cut. It seems to be more riskier to leave them stand in the field than it does the corn crop.
So if you'd happen to get a rainy spell or even snow, you'd want to have those soybeans out, but for corn, it's okay.
Well, to a certain extent, it's debatable. We study that risk every year.
Well, you have to harvest soybeans when it's dry.
That's
right?
the reason why we try to get them while when the opportunity is here. We try to.
And the days are shorter. And
the days get shorter. Every year is different, and this season hasn't done anything to change that
what do you mean
line
by
of
that?
thinking.
This season was a lot different than...
Well, we've never had a year where we've started with no rain whatsoever and very dry air, low humidities. It's just been basically a harvest when you want to rather than when you can, and it makes a lot of difference. In fact, it wouldn't upset me if we had a little shower where we could fix up some of the stuff we got zip tied together or baling wired together or little odd jobs we need to get done. Of course, we don't want it to set in and turn just plumb wet.
Yeah, see, you're able to get out in the field with the trucks and things like that. That really makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yes, it sure does. Makes it go a lot faster.
So it's a little more for me to have to try to figure out how to get the auger out, how to get it turned on, and make sure I'm not putting grain on the ground. A little bit of a challenge.
Well, when we've got a good grain cart driver like Terry, he usually covers for some operator error there sometimes.
He would be yelling if I was doing something wrong. Hey, hey, hey! So right now we're dumping corn on the grain cart.
It looks different in the dark. This kind of has a different perspective on things. Hey Terry, how much do you need to fill that truck?
25 to 27.
Okay, tell us when to quit.
We got 23 now.
Okay.
Just keep it coming, I guess. Well, I'd say that's good enough.
Okay.
You're not out of corn though, are you?
I think I was.
We
wasn't I?
will be, same as now.
Here, I'll just dump.
I can crank it on, see what we got.
We better call it a day. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost 26. That'd be good enough load.
Okay.
It's not trivial to drive this thing at 30 feet wide. Oh, I forgot about the ditches. Tom, why'd you put all them ditches out there? Now, we talked about these ridges this morning at length, and really seem like they've helped your yield.
I think they had to have helped it. We've never had any yield like this here. I think they'll make a big payment toward a ridger just in 1 year.
Well, you know, it was a good year for it because it was wet this spring.
Exactly.
Wet, really extended period this spring, wasn't it?
Yes. In fact, it was wet a month right after we planted this.
Aaron's really after you to plant these beans on these ridges. He thinks it'll help more than the corn.
Well, we can do that too. I think we're finally getting some beans. Maybe we can handle the weed pressure better than we have been able to.
Yeah. Now this is that controversy, right?
Yeah.
What do you weigh in on that first? What do you call it?
Dicamba.
Dicamba.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the whole dicamba situation?
Well, we actually had mixed review with even the actual chemical performance. However, where it worked very well. I think it's our only way out right now to handle the water hemp pressure.
Okay, so making this a little simpler for those, so basically the Roundup Ready soybeans, for years you've sprayed Roundup on them.
Yeah.
And now you've got several weeds that are Roundup resistant.
That's
right?
correct.
And that's water hemp is the one you were talking about.
Tall water hemp, the main one, and as well as a weed we call mare's tail, or I guess the more scientific name's horseweed. We have other weeds we call horseweeds, but
and then I think they have another weed called Palmer, right? That they have.
Well, Palmer's actually south,
okay.
And that one is really bad. It's a very close relative to the water hemp plant.
So then this dicamba is a chemical that will kill both water hemp, Palmer, mare's tail, horseweed, whatever it's called.
Yes.
But it would kill normal soybeans, right?
It will, yes. It will really have a yield reduction on the beans that do not have the dicamba trait bred into them.
Okay, so what's the controversy?
Well, the dicamba has a drift issue.
So
And
you spray it on your soybeans, but the neighbor's soybeans
if
don't.
he doesn't plant the dicamba beans, then that dicamba seems to have a way of finding it.
Okay, and this is not just like a few feet into his field.
No,
right?
it can be a long ways, way more than what we were really expecting.
Okay.
And that was kind of disappointing. We pretty much stuck to the label. In fact, we did stick to the label. We were very fortunate as far as not having an issue with it, but it was more concerning than what we thought it would be.
Okay.
It will be a lesson for next year.
Yeah, so anyway, you think the dicamba issue is probably
Not over yet.
not over.
Okay, we need to go to truck and to the blower.
You have a blower?
Yeah, we got our leaf blower. We will blow the dirt and stuff off of it.
Randall's got a leaf blower up in there blowing out all that dust from the day's work. I guess we go through this every day?
Working out very well.
It's a lot cleaner than I've seen it in years past. And I see the leaf blower is a steel, and that matches my hat today, so. Everybody's giving me grief about my Husqvarna chainsaw. Now folks, that's a nasty job. Mike Rowe needs to be a part of that work. I think this is the first year for this protocol. It seems like a brilliant idea as long as someone else is doing it. Now I need to turn it around. Randall, my thinking on this job is it's a brilliant idea, as long as I don't have to do it.
That's right, as long as you got some wind blowing, it really helps.
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does. It doesn't look like a very pleasant job, but I do like getting it all blown off at night.
Well, it always makes you think that things work better whenever it's cleaned off a
Cleaner,
little bit.
yeah. Just glad I don't have to do it. Folks, I was happy to get a chance to drive the Combine this evening, even though it was after dark. They kind of did put it off till late for me, but pretty good day overall. I got to drive the Combine, got to drive the 8335R at grain cart. I didn't get any video because I was busy with that. An exciting day. You've got to hear a lot of different stories. Hopefully, if all these make it, we've had some great stories, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
Tractor Time with Tim. Let's see. Chief Financial Officer, bottle cook, washer, and any other privileged management position is now operating this massive piece of harvest equipment.
Yeah, now you have to repeat all that, only say it quick enough that people don't get bored.